So guys, you join me and I have made a financial mistake. I've done it again. So in the series of, flipping cars and making some money, to go towards the next car, to go towards this, to go towards that, I have bought this. That's right. A Land Rover Discovery 4. And we got a problem. So let me put the faults on screen here. We have a turbo pressure fault. So I've narrowed it down to being the inlet manifold. Let me show you how I've made this discovery. No pun intended. So taking the engine cover off, you can see we've got a load of oil here. If you're not familiar with this engine, this is the 3-litre TD V6, and basically the inlet manifolds here and here are part of the cam cover. So you can see down here, here's where our injectors are, and this is where we're coating oil. And it is quite a common fault for these to crack. Let's take it apart. That's what I diagnosed it as. I was going to film it, but I diagnosed this basically instantly when I went and viewed the vehicle. At the end, I will tell you how much I paid for it, and I'll tell you a little bit about the car now. Here is the interior of the car. There's a green slip down there. Pretty nice interior, if you ask me. I've bought it, one, to fix it, and two, because we're actually going on a bit of a road trip with the dogs. So here she is. Fairly clean MOT history. It's got long-ish MOT on it, but we don't plan on keeping it for too long anyway. Nice big boot, 7-seater. Yeah, we've bought this to basically do it up and fix it. So I'll get into later how much I paid for it, but for now, a little bit about the history. It's had 2 cam belts done, one being done 10,000 miles ago, serviced I believe 4,000 miles ago. So it's been relatively looked after, but it's got an insane boost leak. I can tell by that oil it's coming from the inlet manifold, and I've just got the parts on order. So today we're going to be taking it apart and fixing it. So getting into these vehicles, they can be quite intimidating. Obviously Land Rovers, Range Rovers, they have the name for a reason, but let me run through what we actually need to do here. So I'm going to flip the camera around. I'll give you a little insight into the engine bay, what we're going to be doing. And to be fair, there's a lot there, but it's actually not too bad. So let me show you what we're at, and then let's move forward with it. So coming on down into the engine bay, literally you've got the rocker cover gone. So we need to get all the injectors out. That is our throttle body into the Y piece that goes into each manifold. So injectors out, throttle body out, all this wiring out the way. This coolant pipe here needs to come up and over to the other side. And then there's a few bolts dotted around the outside. And here's our cam cover. There's a bolt there, and we need to pull that back. So let me set up the camera, do a little bit of a time lapse, and I'll show you where we're at. And hopefully we'll see afterwards where it is leaking. So guys, I didn't realise that this wasn't going to be the best camera angle for the job, but you can see me here just starting to take off the inlet pipes. This bit in particular goes into that Y piece, which the Y piece holds the throttle body. So you can just see me here struggling, and this is what I was saying before, but there's not a lot of space and everything is just a little bit of a struggle on these cars, which is why it takes so much longer. And now I'm arguing with the clip that holds this into the Y piece, and I realise that's what's holding me back, and I pull this out and we can get ready to go on to the next piece. So now we're on to the Y piece, and the bit that I'm attacking at the moment is the EGR pipes. So these go, this is exhaust gas recirculation pipes, which basically takes excess exhaust gases from the hot side of the turbo and put it straight back into the intake, and it's supposed to help on fuel and emissions and stuff, but ultimately they all just get clogged up and it doesn't help the car run any better. So I'm just trying to get the bolts off. I'm struggling with the inlet side, so I go back down to the exhaust side. Eventually I do get them off, and everything's just, again, just so awkward because there's not a lot of space to deal with. So that tied in with not dropping any of the bolts, makes it quite a difficult job compared to some other cars. So straight onto the other side, we're starting off at the Y piece again, and you can see right now I'm taking off the bottom one compared to on the left side. That's because there's a little bit more room. You can see that there isn't like a bend in that pipe to go around the oil filler neck, so there's slightly more room on the right hand side compared to the left. But either way, I still take them off at the Y piece for the intake and down at the exhaust. There's me grabbing bolts out with my pliers because I can't get my hands down there. So once we end up taking all the bolts out, it frees up a little bit of space, and then we can start the arguing with the Y piece to get out. That was somebody beeping and distracted me. I nearly dropped a bolt doing that, and I swear to God, that would have sent me over the edge doing this job. So at this point, I've been doing this section probably for about half an hour maybe, just because of how like awkward everywhere is. And I get to this bit and I'm like, why is this piece not moving? Doesn't make any sense to me. Then I realise that there's actually a bolt holding it in place. So I just go and get the right side. I think it's like a 10mm just holding it down. Go get the right side and get that out. And then because it's like a Y and it's really difficult to get out, because I couldn't quite figure it out to start off with, and the fact that I hadn't taken that pipe off probably didn't help. But later on I realised I could disconnect the EGR pipes in a different place. But you can see me here, I was just pushing them into either inlet and just trying to get it out, and then eventually I just managed to break it free and then we can get it out. And we also give all these parts a good clean, because anything EGR related just gets so caked up with carbon, and while you've got it out, it's always worth cleaning these areas. Guys, so here you can see me actually taking off the leak off pipes. Leak off pipes on diesel injectors is similar to like a return line. Any excess diesel that's not needed goes through the leak off pipes and goes back to the tank, I believe. But basically it just takes it away from where it's not needed. And once I've done that, you can see me, I've only got one clip of this because my GoPro died, but I'm actually just taking out the fuel pipes, which will lead us on nicely onto the next bit where we tackle the injectors. So guys, my GoPro up here has actually just cut out, but here's where we're at. We're at the injectors, and they're pretty in there. They're going to be in there because we don't know when and if the last time they were out. So we've got this over here. This is a injector puller, lots of different fittings on it. I've got the M14 by 1.5. So basically this handle screws this side, this screws on there, and let me try and show you me using this injector puller. So guys, let's get this injector puller all together. So basically this screws in here. We're going to really struggle for space when we go for the next two. Right, this does screw into this side when you get it square. Yeah, do you know what? We're really going to struggle for space here, you know. But we've got an adapter for this. So you got this for if you have a pull-in on an angle. You screw this on top of the injector puller adapter for whatever size injector you have. And this screws into here. Like that. You can see we've got our base to pull on now. I've not tightened these up properly, but you don't really need to. You get your weight on right down here. Just that there where you put your handle on at the top. Make sure your handle screws all the way down. A little bit tedious, but it is what it is. One hand on the handle and on the puller, just like that. And we got an injector out. And do you know what? That injector looks so clean. That's made me very, very happy. So here's injector number 3 coming out. I don't actually think it's 3. I think that's classed as 5. But anyway, right at the back of the engine. I accidentally did the second one first, then the third, and then went back to the first. Here's me setting up for the first one. Then I used a straight adapter. I thought, oh yeah, that's brilliant. But the bonnet was still in the way. So I had to go and grab that flexi sort of joint again. So then I could get on to this at an angle without smacking the bonnet and getting the weight on. And just as the other two, this one came out just as easy, to my surprise. And then we can carry on getting the rest of the rocker cover off. Look at the state of me. Do you know what, guys? I probably could have got all of them out without that impeller, but it's a good way for you guys to learn what an injector puller is and how it works. And if you ever need one, you saw how easy it actually made in getting out. So let's go to the back. I'm storing everything in the back. So this one was number 1, closest to the cam belt. 2 and 3. See, number 3 is missing the copper washer. So that copper washer is still going to be down in that cylinder head. So we need to make sure we got it out, courtesy of the Lidl's pizza box holding my injector and the relevant fuel pipe above it. So let's go have a look and see what else we got to get off. So we come back around to the front of the vehicle, and to be fair, it's not actually a lot more we need to get off. Obviously we've got wiring in the way, which is going to be in the way. We'll get that fuel rail off because there's bolts for the rocket, for the inlet / rocker cover underneath it. There's like one here, there. I think there's 3 along the back, I think. And then like there's a couple underneath the fuel rail. I think we need to take this cam cover bolt off and pull the cam cover forward ever so slightly. Not a great deal though. And then yeah, that'll be that off. So let's dig into that, and hopefully there's no more surprises anywhere. I think that's everything. You can see the amount of oil down here where it's leaked before. This, like I said, this one's been replaced. You can see that's pretty new. Look at that bolt. That's like a new bolt. Like that's the bolts on this one. Obviously there's that one, but it's a bad example. New bolt, and then like in there you can see like new bolt. But if you look inside this one, like that's all crusty and horrible. So you can tell that that side's new and that side's not. And I've actually got a receipt for this side, so we'll go through the paperwork at a later date. Guys, I'm straight out of work again. This is being filmed over multiple days, and this is sort of like a mini side project. So I'm just taking a little bit of time because I already told you guys that I knew the manifold was cracked. So let me show you how you can find out at home where you have a boost leak. So right here, this is a leak detector test. So what you want to get is your battery tray off. Most of them will come with these little hooks, as they just look like mini jump leads. You put one on the negative and one on the positive, and then when you're ready, this plugs into there. We're going to put this up here because I need it up here, and we're going to get this end to go in here, and this runs off of oil. So you can buy like baby oil, just a thin oil that vaporizes under heat. I am trying to screw this in, but it's not really working. So what you would usually do is take off. This is a twin turbo, that's why there's 2 exits on the intake. There's one for each bank. But all you do is take off your inlet, put this, where has it gone? This here in the inlet pipe, but instead we're putting it straight in the manifold because I already know where it's leaking. Then we're going to pump. Oh, you need to tighten that valve up. So put this in here, and then you see it expanding until you get to a point like this. See where it's getting bigger than the hole. So that's made a seal there. Obviously, remember, you would usually do this here, and it would do the whole system. Then we're going to take this end of the pipe, which is connected to the smoke machine, and put it in here. I couldn't do that one-handed. Put it in there. Then we're going to get our plug this in, and we've turned that on. You see it's a smoke. So now here, this will start building pressure, or should start building pressure, while burning the smoke. So now, you see, I don't know if you can see, it's slowly building pressure. We come over to our manifold, boom. That is our cracked manifold, and that is our boost leak, and that is the cause of our problems. This smells amazing because I've put diffuser oil in it. Literally anything that vaporizes is fine. So, and obviously the inside of this manifold don't really matter because it is getting replaced. So that is our leak. That is causing all of our problems. Obviously, you imagine when you've got 10-15 psi's worth, that is quite significant. So we've just turned that off, so it will stop smoking now, but it's still going to build pressure. And yeah, so all you got to do to stop it is pull the plug, and that is how you detect a boost leak easily on any car, really, not just this Discovery, but any car. So guys, here we are, new, old. Can you see them cracks a bit better now? There you go. Cracks starting about here, all the way along to about that little thing there. And obviously with diesels or most turbo engines, you get like blow by and you get a little bit of oil in your intake. So obviously when it's warming up and there's pressure there, that's probably opening quite wide, spitting oil everywhere. There we have our new one. Literally identical. They don't cost a lot of money. And yeah, so let's get this on. Let me show you in the engine bay. The nightmare of all places. The only thing that I've hated so much about the entirety of this job is the fact there is oil everywhere. There's our chain, nice and tight, a little bit of movement, nothing too much. So the chain that needs to be done, they've been done. The belt's been done, obviously the chains are slightly different, but the belt's been done. You can see the belt in here, look, nice and new belt. So yeah, now basically we're going to clean up all the surfaces ready for our new mount. You can sort of see the seals are internally failed anyway, so no harm in changing it. So yeah, that was an absolute ball ache of a job, but we move. So let's get this back together. Guys, here I am. As you can see, oil everywhere, like I am done with most of this build. But here we are. You might see it's smoking ever so slightly. That's because I sprayed some liquid down there, just see if I'd sealed the injectors correctly, which I have. All the codes are gone, and that is it. So that is the Land Rover Disco 4. I've got one more problem to sort though, and let me show you what it is. So when you're in the vehicle, okay, the blowers, don't know if you can hear, but nothing. Let me shut this door so you can hear a bit better. Nothing. You can see the only light on the dash now for a Range Rover, Land Rover, is smart key, press brake when starting, bonnet open. There we go, boys and girls. That is all there is to it. If we start her up now, let me zoom back out. That red light should go out. Why is the red light going out? Oh, bonnet's open. Key battery low, bonnet open. We shut the bonnet, that red light would go out. We change the battery and the key, that orange light would go out. we are laughing. So that is the journey of the Disco 4. Do you know, it's a really nice car to drive actually. I would keep it, but the whole point of getting it was just to turn it around so we could, you know, shift it on, fund some more money for the builds, and yeah, that's it. I might do a little review on it after. I'm going to take it on like a 200-mile journey, and then I might do a little review on it. But for now, that is it. That is the Land Rover Discovery 4 flip, I guess. So you're probably asking how much I paid for this car. I paid £1,800 for it. Let's see what I get for it. I will mention it in a future video. I spent £100 fixing it, 50 quid on that manifold, 10 quid on injector seals, so the copper washer and the 2 seals on the injector, and a £5 on the Y-piece seals, which is in the engine bay. And that's literally all I paid for it. So we're happy. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this, then give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment. If you have a car that you want to sell me because you can't be asked to fix it, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe as well, so you can keep up with all the episodes that I've got going on with the Golf and the flip builds, and you know, the reviews that I do from time to time. Don't forget to subscribe and turn them notifications on so you see them videos, and I will catch you in the next one.